guys? It's me again, KL Cool. What's up, y'all? Wendy! Yeah! So Wendy got out of rehab. Oh, everyone's so proud of her. Apparently she was there a month before we all knew. That's interesting. But she was there for 2 months and they had to keep her a little bit longer because she wasn't getting over all the health issues as fast, because I guess she's got lymphedema, Graves' disease, all of that. And apparently it was just the drinking that was the problem. Really? I know you guys just like to say that, but I think she was doing more than drinking. I really do. But anyway, as you were, I'm just happy she's out. And she said she's not ready to do a podcast, which is what we all said. Like, dude, you can't do a podcast. You can't even string one sentence together. Like, one. The only thing she said the whole time she was drinking and being unhinged and, you know, off the wagon was, have you seen my ring? I made it so big it looks fake. That's all she said. And I'm not lying. That is all she said. And I think the first indicator of her, you know, losing it was wearing that scarf. I love that scarf. I think it's the cutest thing I'd ever seen. But for Wendy Williams to wear it, I don't know, man. Wendy's a sophisticated lady. Sophisticated lady. She ain't like that, man. But anyway, I'm so bloody happy she's out. I hope she's got some really good people around her that are caring about her for realsies. This time, not these like yes men. They're like, yes, Wendy, we'll do a podcast. Yes, we're going to open a restaurant. And we're also going to make shoes. That was one of her other things. She wants to get into making shoes. Nah, man. Nah. I'm so glad all of that didn't happen. So she's obviously got some good people around her. I think Booth, I'm going to say Booth, the DJ, he loved Wendy and she loved him. I know she's got a good family around her, like her dad and her brother and her big sister. I'm sure everybody was involved, and her son. A lot of people had a lot of bad things to say about his son, but I think he was trying to protect her. I don't have any answers, but everyone was all up in arms like, oh, Wendy's under a guardianship, blah, blah, blah. She wasn't under a conservatorship like Britney. People weren't controlling her life like they were Britney. It was a monetary guardianship, and it was temporary until she got better. So they were just renewing it all the time, because apparently she was going into the bank and they were going, oh, shuzbutt. Wendy is not home and she's getting 10 grand out, 30 grand out, and all those dirty, rotten people around her were obviously just siphoning her money. And the people that actually love her, like her family, and probably some good friends like Booth, Norman, love Norman, all those people, they were probably trying to protect her. And I reckon they must have done a pretty good job, because not only did they get her into rehab, I don't know if she was 5150, don't know about that, but the last days before rehab, oh shit. She was wandering around New York, no shoes on, just talking about her big ring.
Let's see it, Wendy. Let's see it.
Gigantic ring.
Ooh, it's so beautiful. It's what you got to say for the camera?
He's out buying, getting stuff. I'm waiting for him to come back.
There was absolutely no one home at Wendy's house. You know what I mean? So I'm really, really happy she's come out doing better and is actually saying, yeah, I'm not ready to do a podcast. Of course you're not. You got to get better, girlfriend. And do you reckon she still has her cats? Love those two little Kit Kats. My Way and Chit Chat. They were just living the dream in a New York penthouse. Yeah, and is she back in her normal penthouse or the new one that she bought? There's so many questions. I can't wait for her to come back and tell us all the stories. Because you know old Wendy, she's pretty truthful and she doesn't hold much back. And that's why we love her. And a lot of people were bagging her out going, yeah, she deserves to go to rehab. She deserves to go crazy. It's like, what are you talking about? That was her job, to be a gossip queen. That was her job, to say all the shit she did. And I loved it. It was blunt AF. And that is why so many people loved her. And Sherry Shepherd, man, you are never going to be Wendy. And you know what? You're a great person on your own. But filling in for Wendy, I thought that was a real bad dog move. There is no other Wendy. Another one will come along that is like Wendy, another person. But replacing her with those people was, I think, the worst thing they could have done. They just needed to put the show on hiatus. But what would I know? I'm just a bloody koala. Do you guys remember when the Wendy show stopped? things just started, trickling out about Wendy. And I remember the first Instagram post that she put up talking about Wells Fargo freezing her bank account. And she was very upset. And I was thinking, she doesn't look too bad, but why does she keep pulling that roll neck over her chin all the time? That was my first, what's up with Wendy?
My thing is that I've been asking questions about my money. And when I began asking questions about my money, suddenly Lori Schiller has got no response regarding my money. I want my money. This is not fair. And Wells Fargo has no questions and answers with regarding my money. This is not fair. And Lori Schiller and Wells Fargo have this guardianship petition about keeping me away from my money. This is not right. And this is not fair. And this guy named Bernie Young, I know for a fact that Bernie Young used my American Express card to hire an attorney to file a petition against me. That was done with my American Express card. Bernie Young, you're no good. And this is not fair at all, And then there's this person, a former doctor, okay, had medical information about me that I never even got. It was sent over to Lori Schiller. So I haven't gotten the stuff. I fired the doctor. And again, all I want to know is, where is my money? This is not right. And certainly, this is not fair. This is not fair. Wells Fargo has used all this stuff to create the guardianship over me. This is not right. And certainly this is not fair. The New York court system is, without evidence, they're being weird to me, this court system. Without evidence, they took all this information and continued with what's going on with me based on what Wells Fargo is doing. This is not fair. This is not fair, And the New York court is treating me like they did in, do you remember Kung Fu Judge case? Do you remember that Kung Fu Judge case? That's not right, and that is not fair. Lori Schiller, Bernie Young, and Wells Fargo. Please let me have access to my money. This is not right. And again, this is not fair. Have a pleasant day. Thank you.
She was stringing sentences along quite easily at this point, so it hadn't gone full, bad. So I was like, well, there's got to be a reason a bank does this. So I went and looked at some of the lawyer channels, and they said it's actually very difficult for a bank to freeze someone's account. They need 3 separate doctors to sign off, not just one doctor. They need 3 separate opinions to sign off on, you can freeze it. So maybe one day she'll thank Wells Fargo, because there was a lot of people trying to rip her off. A lot. We saw them all, man. They were just lurking around. And what about that guy that she married? Where's he? Some cop. I tend to think he was placed there. Now I think about it, he was probably placed there because Wendy loves to be in love. She's a romantic. And they've probably put him there to go, come on, baby. And he was some big, hot, white, Viking-looking cop. And she was like, you know, I love this guy. He loves me. And look at my ring. We're getting married. And all of that. And I reckon, you know, he could have been the one just going in her ear, you know, we'll get married when you get better and things like that. I don't know. It's a very interesting story. And I hope we hear the whole story someday. But until that day, we just want Wendy to get better and come back to her old sassapus self. Because she is a fabulous sassapus. I love that lady. You remember when she said that about Britney and the family, like putting her in the conservatorship? She's like, death to them all. Have a quick listen.
Dare you, Mr. Spears. You had me fooled. And you too, Mrs. Spears. Death to all of them.
That is what Britney said. She said that she felt like she was being set up.
How dare you! I don't like the mother, I don't like the father, I don't like any of them. Nope, none of them. Fire everybody and escape now, Britney. How dare the family? How dare them?
Still one of my favorite. Everyone was like, oh, you can't say that, Wendy. It's like, yeah, you can. That was bloody hilarious. And it was what everyone was thinking. So the difference between that first clip you saw with her talking about Wells Fargo freezing, and it's just not fair. It's just not fair. It's like, I reckon they did you a favor, Wendy, because 4 months later, this is the Wendy we were looking at. And I'm not talking once. I'm talking every time the Paps spotted her on the streets, that's the Wendy we got. And I think the Paps were secretly her bodyguards because, man, she was just walking around with no bodyguards, no security, no PAs, no one, especially at 3 a.m, just in a yellow taxi, you know, going out and getting some liquor. That was wild. And I reckon that it's lucky she had the Paps around because they were protecting her, as in filming everything. You feel me? You dig? Anyway, get better, Wendy. We love your guts and your sassiness. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Love ya. And I'm going to leave you. Remember to let the good vibes in and the bad vibes out. You feel me? You dig? Cheers, ballers.
How it real, how it real, feels so real. How it real, how it real, how it real, and that feels so real. How it real, how it real, real, how it real, feels so real. How it real, how it real, how it real, and that feels so real. How it real, how it real, how it real, feels so real.